Good morning, everybody. So it is a beautiful Sunday morning in Colorado. I am doing this outside, so you're probably going to hear some of the typical weekend morning noises like barking dogs and things like that. If somebody starts mowing their lawn, I will have to stop. I tried this same video earlier, and it just didn't work out. So a few things that I saw doing that: I'm going to wear plain colored t-shirts so that you can see that better. I'm also going to work on at least having a little bit better natural light. Hopefully that works. And here we go. So today's video is about using your power drill driver to drive screws. So hopefully you've already seen the video that goes through the different types of drives that are in the heads of screws. So quick review. This is what we're talking about. We need to know if it's slotted, Phillips, hex, square, or Torx. And today, all of the screws that I'm using have a Phillips drive. So I go into my little set that I'm using today, and I'm going to choose the correct drive, which is this Phillips drive. And I also reviewed how to make sure it was the right size by fitting it into the head of the screw. And then we're going to talk about the other stuff in here later. There's a couple accessories that will make your life a little bit easier. So today we're going to start out with some short screws. Again, it's a Phillips drive. I'm going to put my bit in there and make sure that it fits. Okay, so I have my drill and my battery. I've got the screw that I want to drive. I've got the correct driver. Quick review of safety. Okay, so hair back, because my hair is long. I don't want to scalp myself. Yes, it has happened to some other people. I'm going to take off my watch because it's just going to get in the way. I have glasses on for safety glasses. I don't want this potentially getting in my way, so I'm either going to take it off or I can simply stick it in the back of my shirt. So there you go. Okay, I have my drill. I have the driver that I'm going to use. I'm going to put this into the chuck. I'm going to set my adjustable clutch fairly low. This is a short screw that I'm going to start out with. I want to use this as an example. I'm going to have, for this example, I'm going to have my gear shift on 2. I'm going to make sure that my drill is going forward. Remember that arrow there? I'm going to take my screw. I'm going to line everything up. And an important thing here is that my drill is straight in line with my screw. That'll make everything a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and drive this screw. I can start out slow. Hear that sound? Remember when I was talking about that adjustable clutch? That stopped spinning when it hit a certain resistance. It just so happens that my screw is not all the way in yet. So I want to adjust this up a little higher. Now I'm going to go to about an 8 on this drill. And let's see if I can't drive that in further. Still not all the way in. Okay, I'm going to go try a 12. Let's see if that works. I'm almost there. I'm going to go up to a 15. And this is all just trial and error on your first review. Still need some more. I'm going to try 18. And there you go. So now that I have it on 18, I'm going to take a screw of the same size. And let's see if that will go all the way in without having the adjustable clutch click on me. That sound is when the drill bit is skipping out of the head of the screw. So typically that means I'm not pressing down hard enough, or my drill is not in line with my screw. Okay, I'm going to try that one more time, because that wasn't very elegant. You'll have to trust me that it went all the way in. So let's do this. I'm going to, remember I still have it on about 18, because that's what I've done with a trial and error to see. So I'm going to start out slow. I'm going to push firmly. Notice I have this clamped. Remember, I'm a fan of clamping. 2 hands, especially for women, on this stuff matters. And there I go. It's driven all the way in. So for this size screw, on this project that I may be working on, this adjustment 18 would be the right one. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of the tips and tricks for drilling properly. What if I have a longer screw? So this has the same drive. I'm going to use the same bit, but it's longer. Might be a little bit harder for me to drive this screw. So let's see. I'm going to keep it on 18. So now you can see that it's wobbling a little. I have to hold it with my hand. That's sort of frustrating. So what can I do? Well, one thing I can do is pre-drill. It does 2 things for me. Makes it easier for the the screw to go into the wood. It also gives me a good starting place because I have a small hole to start the tip of that in. So, as I showed you before, I have a large variety of drill bits that I could use. So in this particular case, what I want is the hole to be big enough to make it easy for me to drive that screw, but not so big that the threads of the screw don't do their job. So I'm going to start out with this one. Let me see what size these are. It does say on the side. Oh, these are both the same. So these are both 1/8. So let's look at this. How do I know whether or not this is going to be the right size for me? What I want to do is take my drill and my screw, and I want to line them up. And I don't want the diameter of my drill bit to be greater than the solid part of this screw. Because then it would be, or I'm sorry, the solid part of this part of the screw, because then it would be bigger than the threads. So that would not be okay. So how do I know that? I'm going to hold it behind there, and I don't want to see the drill. I want to be able to see those screw threads and no drill blocking them behind. So if you can see this, an 1/8 inch would be a good hole size. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so now I'm going to remove my screwdriver. I'm going to put in my drill bit. I'm going to find my spot, have all my settings. I'm going to remember 18. I may even need less with my hole. I'm going to put it on the picture of the drill. Drill my hole. Okay, so now I'm going to take this out. I'm going to put my screwdriver bit back in. Now I'm going to take my screw. I'm going to put it into that hole. And now when I start it slowly, now it's not wobbling. Oh, a little bit maybe. Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit further in. There we go. And now I'm going to set this back to 18. And I'm going, that was because I was not pushing hard enough on the back. And there you go. I probably didn't even need that on 18 anymore. So now I want to show you an accessory that makes switching these out even easier. This is called a quick change bit. So what I'm going to show you is I put this into my chuck. Sorry, my fingers are in the way. I clamp this into my chuck. I make sure I'm holding far enough back that this can move up and down. I can put my drill bit in. See how that pops that in and now it's secure? When I want to switch it over to my screwdriver bit, I pull down on this sleeve and then I pull out my bit. Or that was a drill, I'm sorry. And then I'm going to put my screwdriver bit in. When I'm done with that, I pull this down and I switch back to my drill. So the nice thing about that is I don't have to keep clamping and unclamping my chuck. So I'm going to put this in, and remember, when I tighten this, I want there to be some clearance back here so this can move back and forth. And then I'm going to pop in my drill. I'm going to put this on the picture of the drill. I'll move over here. I'm going to drill my hole, and remember now all I need to do is pop this out, put this back in, take my screw, move this back down here. I'm going to try it on 15, see if that works without that clicking sound. I'm going to start this. I'm going to push down. There you go. That's it. Okay. I want to show you one other accessory. Oh, I do want to do a quick chat about, in order to use that quick change bit, I need to have my drill that has this feature on the back. So remember the drills that I showed you at the very beginning, they had smooth shanks that were just the diameter of the drill bit. So I couldn't use those with the quick change bit. I would need this style. The rest of it is identical. It doesn't matter which style you use if you're not using the quick change bit, but if you're using the quick change bit, you need one like this because it has this little recess here that allows that quick change feature to grab onto to keep everything in there securely. So the last little one that I want to show you is, what if I have a really long screw? So that's quite long and it can be hard to manage. So this is called a screw guide, and this sleeve slides up and down, and it's going to allow me to guide that screw. So I'll show you how this works. The key is, though, that I have to use a different style bit. So in this little set I had these little short ones. So this is the right size, and it is held magnetically in the end of this bit. So I have the right size bit, and now I'm going to put this screw in using this guide. So these are just a couple accessories that are available. You can use them or not, but just want you to know, if you do buy one of these little sets, that you realize that they are there to be helpful. Okay, so I'm not pre-drilling this. This will also help if you have to drive a screw in between like two protrusions and you can't get your hand in there to hold it. So I'm going to put the bit in the drive. I'm going to put it where I want to drill it, and then I'm going to slide this sleeve over it. I have this on 15. May or may not be enough for something this big. But then I can slowly start my screw, and even though it wobbles, do you see how it doesn't tip over? And I don't have to be quite so concerned about what's going on. So as I drive this screw, I still have to push down. Remember to push down. And as I drive the screw, do you see that sleeve sliding back? And if I want to see where I am, there I am. I'm all the way back. Oh, I'm all the way in there. So that is what this is for. It's called a screw guide. And you can use it when you have those long screws that you need to drive. So there you go. We used the quick change bit. So this was a way to transfer between a drill and a screwdriver quickly without having to loosen your chuck. We used the screw guide to help with long screws, and then we did pre-drilling of a hole in order to make that whole system easier. So there you go, that's it for today. Hopefully this worked better than my last one, so I don't have to redo this a third time. As always, it's been great. My next video is going to be on small circular saws, also known as skill saws. See you again in the next video. Thanks, everybody.